with hard-bodied miners. On Mike's payroll, they can earn far more than they take from the cold mud.
All the youth of the world, not just in Gabon, but all of the youth are unemployed because of the economic crisis.
It doesn't matter what kind of work I do, I need to keep working.
The men chosen for the job are strangers to each other and to Mike, unknown quantities. Reaching the sea will require teamwork, and some of the roughest obstacles to the megatransect still lie in wait.
I'm taking these new guys to the farthest place they've ever been.
Bebe takes the lead.
My job is to stay in front of Mike.
For 3 weeks, they bushwhack through the Minkebe rainforest, one of the densest and most valuable woodlands left in Africa. Rich with animals, virtually untouched, this pristine forest is threatened by logging. Their next goal, a bizarre archipelago of granite humps, rearing up hundreds of feet from the forest floor. The men are upon them, climbing before they realize that they are suddenly through the canopy, above it all at last.
I mean, this is such a fragile environment.
Little studied, they are called Inselbergs, island mountains, and Faye will use the high ground to once again rendezvous with geographic photographer Nick Nichols. Months have passed since the two last linked up.
I'm going to have my first contact with Mike, and we haven't seen each other in 6 months. We're now in June. I'm real excited to see him. Just want to make sure he's okay and give him a big boost and keep it going.
Your eyes don't look too yellow.
That Papillon or something.
It's a long way out here, huh? Good to see you.
You're looking wild. Have you looked in the mirror in a while?
No mirrors, that's the trick. You know, God, if I looked in a mirror, I'd probably have to go home.
Savage.
Faye is at home here, of course, and within moments, he's describing the neighborhood to Nichols.
When you've been traveling across flat ground for the last 9 months, and the biggest relief you get kind of is termite mounds. This place is the most beautiful place on earth. I mean, when you think that as far as the eye can see, and we can see a long way here, you know, 70 or 80 kilometers in every direction, and we can see 360 degrees around. There are no humans. There's not a single village. There's not a single road. It's an amazing place.
We want to see animals out here. This is kind of a savanna in the middle of the forest, this rock. So we expect to see bongo and pigs and elephant if we get lucky, buffalo, and if we get really lucky, hyena. Oh, I'm whispering because I don't want to scare the animals away. And Mike will get mad at me if I don't whisper.
If you listen off in the distance, you can hear them. Okay, wow.
Oh là là. Non.
The Kongu Chutes. These pristine rapids are a vital part of the landscape the megatransect seeks to protect. A a land of surging waters and primary forests threatened by logging.
They think it's too much. I don't think they trust us on this one. It's like,
The chutes are treacherous, but Faye's intended route demands they cross here. The men are concerned about being swept away, especially with heavy packs on their backs. The situation calls for much discussion, followed by a few prayers.
These threw an offering to the spirit.
We threw a coin into the river and then inhaled the water through our noses. It's an offering to the spirits to protect us as we cross.
Then they take the plunge. The stiff current could easily pull a man off his feet, flinging him and his pack down through the rugged boulders. The men attack the river, section by section. Small islands rise up at intervals midstream. The men use them to aid their passage. The crossing is just a few hundred meters wide. But even using guide ropes, stepping stones, and every other woodland trick at their disposal, it takes the team an entire day to get across. Within hours of crossing the chutes, Nichols will hopscotch ahead to photograph wildlife. Though the men part company yet again, it is according to plan, each creating a document of this fragile wilderness.
This is really a wild place that's unique and can disappear in a blink of an eye. At this point, I'm obsessed with trying to document forests before they're gone.
The expedition has marched through more than 1,000 miles of woodland and has filled more than 50 notebooks with data. At the same time, nearly 25,000 acres of forest have been felled for buildings in Paris, Beijing, and Tokyo. The team enters a forbidding region known by the French name Massif de Chailloux. Row upon row of razor-backed ridges rising more than half a mile into the sky.
This is exactly what the Massif de Chailloux looks like. Hills and veins.
Stretching ahead for 124 miles, the team will cover twice that distance because of all the climbing.
You just kind of slip your way to the top and slip your way back down to the bottom. Still got about 30 days or 40 days out here. But we'll make it. These hills are a killer.
Like the green abyss that broke the Baaka, the Massif becomes the new team's torture test. Worse, it's October, and the rainy season is right on schedule, with drenching downpours almost every day. Time means everything now.
Because we're running out of food fast.
The men must travel 3 miles a day, But the satellite navigation equipment says they're only making 2.
Now this is because the map is impossible to read. And we are going to be in deep, deep trouble if this continues today.
Faulty maps, terrible terrain, but that's not all.
I got the old Palu last night, and pretty feverish today, but gotta make a few Ks anyway.
But he doesn't get far before the Palu, malaria, catches up to him.
My physical state continues to deteriorate.
With supplies running low, the men are exhausted, hungry, and Faye is flat on his back. They are reduced to chopping down palm trees for the fruit. These palms are a sign of cultivation. People once farmed this land. Dinner tonight will be whatever they can scrape together. Faye's fever finally breaks, but precious time has been lost, and now the supply situation is approaching critical. Faye cuts rations by half. Dissension spreads among the angry men. But they must struggle on toward a pair of satellite coordinates where an airdrop planned months in advance is scheduled. Once more, they are back from the brink.
Okay, numéro 2.
The team is the happiest it's been in weeks.
The division of the cookies, always a hard one.
Temporarily resupplied and reinvigorated, the team will head for another long-awaited rendezvous. The last link-up with a man whose arrival always seems to brighten up an otherwise dour group. National Geographic photographer Nick Nichols. It's been 4 months and another 300 miles since they were last together. Now they can rally for the final push to the sea, less than 200 miles away. But their rallying spirit is soon all but broken. One of the men, Mayambo, is hobbled by an abscess on his foot.
I will get to the beach. Slowly, slowly, it will be okay.
But it won't. Until now, antibiotics have worked to cure infections, but Mayambo's wound refuses to heal. Both penicillin and painkillers are useless. Despite his courage, the risks are too great for Mayambo to stay on, and sadly, he must be evacuated. Just as Muko's illness sabotaged the spirit of Faye's first team, so Mayambo's does the same to Faye's second. They dump Mayambo's load in the forest and seriously question the whole undertaking.
The work makes me suffer. The mountains, the swamps, all of this, it's very strange.
I'm very tired. The work is not good. Work is not good. This work is for elephants.
Oui, oui. But, hey, 7 mois.
C'est beaucoup.
5 jours, fini.
Ah!
It is too much. 7 months in the bush.
7 mois. 5 jours, fini. Let's go.